Hello everyone, I'm Mikelle Bryson-Campbell, Executive Director of the Sarnia Lambton Workforce Development Board. I'm excited to be joined here today by Kelly Hill, founder and CEO of Profits and Lattes. Hello, Kelly.
Hello, Mikelle.
Thanks so much for joining me here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. So Kelly, I wanted to jump right in. Tell me a bit about your business, Profit and Lattes.
Profit and Lattes. Oh, it's evolved over time for sure. So we help female service-based businesses or entrepreneurs grow their wealth as opposed to just looking after their books. So we work with them to refine business processes, to look at their financials, to create more profit to put in their pockets.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's really interesting, and I'm sure much needed. So when entrepreneurs come to see you, what would be their biggest challenge, would you say?
Paying themselves. Always, yes.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to, pay yourself within the usually first to 3 years of business sometimes. And so by the time they come and see me, they're overwhelmed, they're underpaid, they're overworked, and they're just not sure how to turn revenue into profit. They're making really good numbers on the top of the income statement, as we say, but not so much on the bottom.
Oh, that's interesting. And so when entrepreneurs come in to see you, what stage are they in? You said they're a little bit into their journey, but how far? What does that mean? How far in are they?
Typically, we're working with entrepreneurs that are in their second to third year. So they've established a really good client base. They're making good revenue numbers, bringing good numbers in, but maybe their expenses are a little out of whack, or maybe their project costing really isn't adding up to allow them to start taking money out of the business.
Right. So the financial side is a need. Do they ever mention there's other sort of pieces that they're missing or that they would like to see in the community or they need themselves as an entrepreneur?
I think we're lucky in Sarnia to have a really good entrepreneurship base, I think. A lot of women here, especially, to work with each other. A lot of times they're looking for support in other areas as well. When you're an entrepreneur, as you know, you wear all hats, right? And so sometimes their forte may be creative and not administrative. So I think that we're lucky to have the virtual world, where they can find a virtual assistant or those sort of things. But mostly they're looking for help. Right? Help in a lot of different areas, but can't afford to hire every time.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned, wearing many hats. It's something that we've heard, really throughout these podcasts that we're doing. And so do you hear of entrepreneurs that are they outsourcing? Are they doing it themselves?
Oh, they're doing it themselves. Yes. Unless you you've established yourself in the virtual world, remotely. Oftentimes they aren't aware that there is such thing as a virtual assistant or a virtual bookkeeper or, any other virtual social media manager. And they are trying to do all the things, right? Which is effectively what's burning them out and making, the bottom line not grow as fast as the top line. And same thing happened to me when I grew a lot faster than I had intended to. So when it comes at a pace that you're not expecting, you're certainly not prepared for it either, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And again, that's something else we're hearing, talking about that work-life balance. It's often non-existent for entrepreneurs. Have you heard that as well, or has that been your experience?
100% yes to both. It certainly has been my experience, and a lot of us, myself included, we're still working in their corporate jobs or day jobs, as you call it. And so when you start what we call in this age side hustle, let's call it, and you're expecting it to be a side hustle, and then it just more and more people come to you and you want to help them, but you can't do all the things, right? And it sincerely leads to burnout for sure.
Yeah, I would imagine, especially wearing those many hats, as you mentioned, and trying to do that all. And so do you feel that community programs and supports are being utilized? Like, are entrepreneurs getting the message that they exist, that they're here?
That's an interesting question because it's taken me some time to find all of the avenues in Sarnia to refer people to. But when you find them, it's a spectacular, little nest of resources. The Sarnia Lambton Entrepreneurships Starter Plus Grant and the Community Futures, I forget what theirs is called, but both of those programs really help to let you know what is available in the community for entrepreneurs and helps those starting out. So I think that both of those organizations are doing a really good job of getting on social media and letting entrepreneurs know what free resources are available to them. It's amazing.
Right, yeah, that's the key too. I'm sure looking for resources that are cost effective or cost friendly,
Yes.
would really go a long way in terms of helping them get a better bottom line, I would suppose.
Right, exactly. Anything free is good.
Yeah.
Well,
yes, yeah,
for the most part.
Yes, that's right, exactly. Oh,
Yeah.
well, that's great.
Mhm.
So what advice would you give to a new entrepreneur starting out?
Two things. One is don't spend money where you don't need to spend money to begin with. We all think we need a fancy website and we need a fancy system and we need fancy social media, and it's not necessarily the case. And despite hearing all that myself, I still did it all because I do love that kind of thing. But really, take your money and focus on your craft. What is it that you want to help somebody with and add value to their lives with? Because ultimately, that's what matters. I see it all the time. Sometimes I'll prepare for a meeting and I'll have spreadsheets and I'll have this and I'll have that. And really they just want to, hear about what's going on or hear about how I can help them. So people are looking for you to add value with your specialty. Right. So websites can come later, branding can come later, all that good stuff can come in time. But save some money, save some hassle, and, just get yourself out there.
Yeah, absolutely. What great advice, and really realistic for a lot of folks just starting out. And so what's next for you? What do you see happening in your future in terms of the business or work you're doing?
Well, it's interesting that you asked because I do have something sort of on the horizon. So, so we recently rebranded, and Profits and Lattes is our new brand, and it focuses on financial advising and business coaching and that sort of thing. But my own experience in the last couple of years, I've had some health issues, and it's led me to really have a passion for helping women in their, sort of in their menopausal years, and coming into the phase of life where they may be experiencing some brain fog, some cognitive issues, some where we were the entrepreneurs that could work 16-hour days, we're now the entrepreneurs that might be lucky to work 4. And so I am opening up a local space, and just a small little space where I can provide some in-person help to entrepreneurs that are either struggling in their business or struggling in their life or struggling with both, because both menopause and entrepreneurship are super lonely, right? Super lonely. So having somewhere you can go and, just feel at home and feel comfortable being yourself and get some help, that's what I'm looking to do.
That's great. Wow, that's excellent. I look forward to hearing more about that. Well, thanks so much for joining us today, Kelly, and looking forward to all that's to come in the future.
Thank you for having me, Mikelle. Nice to meet you.
And thank you for joining in as I speak to Kelly Hill, CEO and founder of Profits and Lattes.